So, hello, and welcome. My name is Rocio, and I aim to teach a free restorative yoga class once a month because I believe that practices of rest should be accessible, that we should all have a place at least once a month where we can rest that only requires time. And here we are. I'm aiming for this year, it's 2026 at this moment, if you're watching it in the future or in the past. And I'm aiming every month of this year to talk about a little bit about the classical components of the philosophy of yoga. There's a fact of the practice of yoga that's called the eight limbs. It is said that someone gathered oral information more than 3,000 years ago, and that the name of that person was Patanjali. And there's a lot in that part of philosophy, but the main part is that before we do asana, before we do meditation, before even we find enlightenment, we should think of moral and ethical values to treat ourselves and treat others. And I'm thinking in those moral values with which we live the world. Thinking of that, the first one of those moral values is in Sanskrit, Ahimsa, and the easiest translation to it is non-harm. And I think it goes hand in hand with the practice of rest because, of course, we tend to our bodies when we rest, but also when we are resting, it could be easy to think, in my case, of harming thoughts, of not doing enough, should be doing something else. Maybe I didn't earn this rest because something else is more important. So let's explore that, or at least allow that to be part of our practice this month. That is my intention, that we plant a seed in the practice today and then we let it linger. I've been thinking about it the first days of this month. How can I non-harm myself, or in which ways I am harming myself? Usually with thoughts, with actions, with not caring or not tending. With all of that, for our practice today, I have 3 cushions. I have my clock there, you see, so that I can keep time. And we will use either a couch or perhaps a bed or maybe a chair. All of the poses that we will do with legs supported can be done also without the legs supported. You can also do it flat on the floor. But yes, I was saying before I started the recording that I've been traveling, and because I've been traveling, I've had the downflow energy towards the legs, so that's why I am craving lifting the legs up. I will use the first pillow just for the head, and I will go ahead and lift the legs up the couch. Nothing much. Again, if you have the wall, maybe. And then I'm leaning back. And then if you have the wall, maybe you just have your legs up the wall. If you're doing that, I would like you to have your legs in an angle, not completely upright, so that you allow your thighs, as I'm letting in the couch here, to really rest. My buttocks is not extremely close to the couch. I have a little bit of space. So it's a very relaxing way. Notice that my knees are widening a little bit. Very little to do. I am opening my arms and I have a cushion at each side under the hands. Nothing else. I'm having a little bit of a sneak peek to the clock so that we stay on time, and we'll spend here 1 or 2 minutes just landing and arriving. I only wish that the sound of my voice is good, that the projection is well. And if you can, I like to, and as I start to relax, to notice where my toes are, because I can notice my mind giving instructions. I'm relaxing the mind by wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers, maybe moving the head side to side, so that I allow the body to land, and also me with the body landing in this moment. We will rest in quietness for a couple of breaths, and I wonder if we can bring this easy question to the brain. How can I tend to myself? Notice what thoughts have gone through, perhaps what have stayed. Maybe you have started thinking in something else. That was my case. And see if you can bring yourself back to this moments of practice, to this 20-25 minutes of practice of you here, supported by something from the knees up, or perhaps even the support of the arms, of the torso, of the back of the head. Let's see if we can bring here the awareness of peacefulness, the opposite of non-harm, of non-violence, of peace, of sweetness. As we breathe in through the nose, deep breath in. Open mouth and sigh out. Let's that again. Very peaceful breath in. Long open mouth, breath out. That's it. Stay here, stay peaceful with your mind, maybe, with your thoughts. And I'm bringing my arms beside me. We'll make it easier. We're just crossing the right ankle. I hope it's not the opposite for you, but right ankle on top of the left knee. I'm letting my right knee rest a little bit on the couch. If this is a little bit tricky, you might bring the shin perhaps closer so that the openness of that figure four is less. And we just want now one of the legs, the right side, this time to receive this downflow energy in the thigh, a little bit of perhaps of something inside of the thigh. A couple of breaths here. Is it possible to allow or invite some peacefulness here? Is there something that we can sense or taste in the flavor of peacefulness? Perhaps it's smell, maybe it's a sensation of the clothing and the skin. Perhaps there's a gentle breeze and you can feel the air, the touch in your skin. Stay relaxed, perhaps even with eyes closed, as we just change legs. That right leg to be supported either by the wall, by the floor, or the couch, the bed. And then just cross that other ankle. I have the left ankle on top of the right knee. And I can notice that this other leg is different. That the knee is a little bit tighter, perhaps the thigh. So I cannot really rest it, so I'm letting the shin be across the knee instead of the ankle, and that makes it less intense. No intensity in this practice, but at least less hard, perhaps, less violent in a way, non-harming. Let's just allow like a minute or so of just noticing what here can be peaceful. What of this has a flavor, a taste of peace? Notice where your breath is. Give yourself a deep breath in through the nose. Open mouth and let it go. And then easily let's collect that left leg. Let it rest for just a couple of breaths on top of the couch or the wall or the bed. And let's see if you can bring arms a little bit up and over the head. I am keeping my elbows bent. I'm just allowing a gentle stretch or an expansion of the skin in the side of the body. And from the middle of the chest, that space where the diaphragm is, in between the floating ribs, give yourself a deep breath in, allowing some peace as you breathe out. Very intentionally allowing space, breath, air into you as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Let's see if it's possible to now bring arms as wide as your shoulders, palms facing up. And those cushions that you had beside each leg, have them handy. We will bring the knees towards the chest, just like a simple twist. And let's just bring first the right side, both of the knees to the right side, and I'm letting the cushion catch my legs. For some of us, this is very nice, but some of us might want to have even that cushion in between the legs. It will feel better. I have a little bit of tightness in my shoulders, and I'm leaning a little bit towards the right side because the full version, or the biggest version with both arms wide, feels a little bit strong. So have a feel. I'm even bringing the left hand to my left ribs. What feels nicer and gentler here for you? And we're spending here a couple of minutes. Twist, knees together to the right side, maybe a cushion under the knees or in between the knees. Maybe the left hand touching your left side, or perhaps the left arm extending. Maybe even gaze into your left arm if that feels better. And I love when I'm twisting to feel the ribs, to feel that space where the stretch is happening, and allowing myself to rest in the body. So notice your ribs expanding when you breathe in. The air, the stretching of the skin, the softening as you breathe out. And perhaps taking in that this tending, this breathing peacefully and deeply is a way of allowing ourselves to not harm. And it is only the way that we treat or are with ourselves that we can be with others. So this first couple of months, all of the ethical, moral values that we will be touching base on are just for yourself. How do you give yourself peace? Or the opposite, how do you not harm yourself? This time, and just for now, we are noticing easiness in the breath as we allow the air to come in and allow the air to go through. A couple of more peaceful breaths here. awareness of some peacefulness, maybe some calmness. As the breath comes in, stay where you are. Soften something in the face as you breathe out. And then I will invite you to find your left arm, whatever it is, hopefully on your left side, and bring it all the way to the right side. And cocoon yourself into a fetus position. This is one of my favorite things because it allows something in the back body to relax. It triggers a response of rest throughout the neck, the head. Stay here for just a moment. And then take your time to slowly, slowly make your way into the second side. We're coming through the center, so I'm collecting my legs, letting that pillow there that was under the knees, bringing the legs back to the couch for a moment. Notice the spine settling. I'm bringing now my hands to the chest. Noticing the diaphragm, the belly expanding when I breathe in. Noticing the belly lowering down as I breathe out. Let's do that. Let's bring hands on top of the navel. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Slowly, very relaxed. I'm opening my arms wide so that it allows the movement of the legs. Walking or bringing the knees towards the chest first, touching a little bit the couch with the feet. And maybe walking the feet towards the left side. Checking in first, letting that pillow support the legs. Or maybe letting that pillow be in between the legs. Checking with the right arm if it's happy there, or maybe the right hand wants to touch the ribs and the left, or the head is tilting towards the left. Give yourself a couple of moments. The restorative poses require space and time until you really find where is just the right place for the parts of the body, where it's really restful, where can you really lean into comfort here. I'll be quieter in the second side. I just invite you to just notice the breath. Notice where you are expanding, where space when you breathe in. Where you are softening, relaxing when you breathe out. Awareness of breathing and awareness of relaxation. One of my teachers says, Tara Brock, that when we meet the breath, it's always an opportunity to re-relax. Sometimes we're thinking, wandering away, and then we catch the breath as we're now checking in and breathing in. Re-relaxing as we breathe out. Stay where you are. We're going to come out of it slowly as we did on the first side. So bring that right arm towards the left. Wiggle yourself into a fetus position for a moment. Get yourself comfy. Notice your back body, the back of the shoulders, the spine, even the lower back, the changes in position of the support of the floor. And now that space to breathe through the back body as the air comes in. And as the air comes out. Now we're just making our way into our Shavasana today. So allow one of your hands to touch the floor, lifting gently through the torso. I'm wiggling myself so that I can bring two pillows towards the back, one pillow towards the front I am a lover of having always support under the knees, at least in my case, for Shavasana. So I'm just bringing my legs over, and because my cushions are a little bit big, I'm just folding it each so that they can be under the knees, wiggling myself back, just leaning myself to lie down on the floor. You see this little bit of support on the knees allows easefulness in my lower back, and then you can have your arms wide. Nothing much, just a couple of moments here to let all of that twisting, all of that leg up be now settling in the body. In Shavasana, nothing to do, nothing to control, just open space of awareness. Where you are, and as you are, just notice. Start to deepen the awareness of your breath. Stay, and perhaps with a gentle smile in your lips, start to wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers. Perhaps a natural stretch, bringing arms up and over the head, and maybe leaning to one side and leaning to the other side. So nice. Perhaps you bend your knees and you bring them towards your chest. That might feel nice. And perhaps rock your legs side to side, allowing space for the lower back to self-massage. That's it. And as we did on the sides, after that twist, lean over to one side. Stay there with the cushion or the pillow under your head in a little bit of a fetus position for a moment. Let's have a couple of breaths here. Maybe a gentle reflection of what spaces, perhaps what people help you, what situations to feel at peace. Very simple for me. The first thing that comes to mind is showers. When I shower, I'm like in my own space, in my own cocoon, and it's very peaceful for me. Maybe you have a pet or a moment in the day. Bring that awareness, that possibility. Spaces, people, situations where you feel at peace. And with that, and with a little bit of gratitude, let's just press one hand on the floor and make our way up into a seated posture. I'm moving my things away so that I can sit appropriately and just offer me to you gratitude, and perhaps you can offer yourself gratitude. I'm bringing hands to touch in front of my heart. I'm bowing towards my heart so that I can always connect with the intuition, with the inner knowing of my heart, you of yours, and from my heart to yours, I offer gratitude. This practice, us together, you here in this moment, that manifested so that we could be here, you could be here. I bow to you in gratitude. Thank you so much for your practice, and perhaps maybe even see you next month. Thank you.